more Southern than you. I drink more sweet tea than you do.
Can you make fried chicken?
No. Hello everyone! So today, Gloria and I as in Olivia, have Walt Disney World ride hacks for you. Tips and tricks to help you with your Walt Disney World when it comes to attractions. Attractions, meaning shows, meaning rides, meaning anything that's, well, attractive, like attractions. Yeah, that's a great description of an attraction. I thought Gloria would come and join me because she is the queen of, you know, attraction hacks.
I'm not a very patient person, and so if I could find a way to cut a line, like without making people mad, and to be effective with my time waiting, then I did it. And so, I mean, being there for 8 months gave me the opportunity to figure out all the hacks, and gave us the opportunity to figure out all the hacks. So let's get into it. Number 1, how to get picked is the Rebel Spy. I actually have been the Rebel Spy a couple times. The way you get picked is you gotta look for the camera. So when you're in Star Tours, look towards the middle, and on the middle of the front where the screen where you watch is usually a camera right there in the middle. That's usually where the camera is. Another thing that could help you get picked as the Rebel Spy is if you talk to the cast member who was working the doors before you enter. So you know how you line up right before you enter into your Star Tours vehicle, whatever they're called, transportation unit. There's the cast member who operates the doors. Talk to them, let them know. Maybe it's your birthday, maybe it's your anniversary. Especially if you're trying to get like a kid or something, like, you know, that we, you know.
Let them know something special's going on. Just talk to them. You're more likely to get picked.
Tip number 2, go left. So, for example, in Small World, as you're going through the queue, after you swipe your magic band for the last time, you can choose to go left or right. Always choose to go left. A lot of people, it's their human nature to go right because most of us are right-handed, and so we tend to go that way. And so the left is generally shorter. The same thing with Thunder Mountain and a couple other rides. If you have the option to choose left, go left.
Tip number 3, keep moving. Especially for rides like Haunted Mansion, there are certain queues that are pretty wide. With those lines, you don't have to stay where you are. You can keep moving forward. Of course, you can't go, get out of my way and get through, be really obvious about it, but you can kind of slip your way up to the front, and it's not considered cutting lines because it's mostly they just want to stick you in a mob because they want to get you into the next part of the queue, which in the Haunted Mansion's case would be the room with the stretching walls. So you can meander your way up to the front. Once it starts getting a little bit more narrow, then you need to stay in your position. But at the beginning, keep moving forward.
Tip number 4 is to stand by the door on certain attractions.
Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
So, for example, in Tower of Terror, Haunted Mansion, and Dinosaur, they stick you in a room where you watch something. And the same thing for Rock and Roller Coaster. They stick you in a room where you're watching something. So stand by the door, so as soon as that door opens, you can bolt straight into line. Especially with Haunted Mansion, the way that works. Special tip for Haunted Mansion, as you're about to walk into the stretch room, if you look to the left or to the right, about midway and on the wall, it will be a light on either side. It's a little red dot, and that is how you know which door will open.
Tip number 5, always sit in the middle. Certain rides are meant to be seen from the middle, so especially when it comes to shows, the best view is always from the middle, whether it be Hall of Presidents, American Adventure, Oh Canada, Impressions de France, any of those shows, sit in the middle. It's the best view, especially for the Hall of Presidents when all 44 presidents come out, well, not 45, then you can see all of the presidents, not just Abraham Lincoln. A ride that is especially meant to be ridden from the middle is Sweating, aka Soarin'. That ride is meant to be ridden from the middle of the middle. So the middle row going horizontally and the middle row going vertically, because if you sit on the sides or you sit more to the front, more to the back, the screen is gonna be a tad bit curved. So you can always ask a cast member. You can say, oh, could I sit in the very middle? They may be able to grant your request if it's not too crowded.
Tip number 6 is to ride the single rider line when possible so that you do not waste fast passes. At Walt Disney World, you only get 3 fast passes a day. really want to like make use of those fast passes, and so I would recommend not getting one that has a single rider line, especially if you're trying to maximize your experience and maximize your rides. For example, it would be Test Track and Rock and Roller Coaster.
Number 7, ride Fantasyland rides at night. Fantasyland, let's be honest, is pretty much geared towards kids. Yes, they're family rides. I love Dumbo, don't get me wrong, but they're geared more towards kids. So the best time to ride Fantasyland rides are at night when the kids have all gone back to the hotel, when they're all sleepy. Of course, there's some kids that keep going until midnight, but for the most part, they're gone. The only exception I would say to this rule is Peter Pan. This ride will usually always have a pretty long line because it's super duper loved by all ages, but for the most part, best time to ride Fantasyland rides, nighttime.
Number 8. Tip number 8 for us is to don't be afraid to ask to ride a ride multiple times. I am very guilty and have ridden People Mover like 7 times in a row.
I thought it was 9.
Don't be afraid to ask ride, especially if it's a loop ride like People Mover or Spaceship Earth or anything like that that kind of has like a rotation going on. Don't be afraid to ask.
Tip number 9. This is actually a pretty well-known tip, but it is ride Kilamanjaro Safari in the morning. Kilamanjaro Safari is best to ride in the morning because that is when all the animals are awake. Unlike humans, they like to get up early in the morning. That is when you'll actually see the lions probably, because every time I went on it, I never saw the lions. It's because they're awake in the morning. Another great time to ride Kilamanjaro Safari is sunset, because just think about it. You see the shadow of a giraffe going across the plain with the sun in the back. Oh, that's like Circle of Life! You could have that experience.
Tip number 10 is our last tip, and it is to, if you know a cast member that works that ride, ask for them. It's great to have a safari guide or even a Jungle Cruise skipper that you know. It kind of makes it a little bit more exciting, and also you can cut the line if possible if there's a next person that's coming up. Instead of you having to wait in line and then wait for them to come, they'll kind of pull you off to the side, and whenever their boat comes by or whenever their vehicle comes by, then they will put you on that ride. Another ride also would be the Great Movie Ride. That's another one. When you have any ride where you have someone that is basically walking you through the ride, you can request people. If you don't know anybody but you had a great experience with somebody and you want to have them again, so if you have a really great skipper that you love every time, or you have a really great movie ride person that takes you through, then you can request them. Like, don't be afraid that if you want to have them again and have a great experience, don't be afraid to tell somebody that.
Woo! And that was our list of 10 Walt Disney World attraction hacks. Whoa.
Yay. Comment down below if you have used any of these hacks before, or if you have any other facts that we may have missed in this video.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. See ya!